Emotional eating is not your fault, and it has nothing to do with willpower. Trying to just control it will only make things worse. Now, most people think that emotional eating is just a lack of discipline, that if you had more self-control, you wouldn't keep reaching for food when you're stressed, bored, or sad. But here's the truth. Emotional eating is not a discipline problem. It's a survival mechanism. And the harder that you try to restrict yourself, the stronger that urge becomes. So in this video, I'm going to show you why emotional eating happens in the first place, and we'll talk about the real reason, not what diet culture is telling you. We'll also talk about what to do instead of just trying to resist your cravings. And we're gonna go over a very simple and practical strategy to stop emotional eating without feeling deprived. And if you want a really simple way to structure your meals so that you stay full longer and keep your blood sugar stable, you want to grab my free guide, The Perfect Meal Formula, linked below this video. Hey, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor and a nutrition professional, and I help people take control of their health without extreme diets or unhelpful approaches. I work with my patients on this every day, and I've seen firsthand why emotional eating is such a struggle for so many of you. So if you've ever found yourself eating when you're not hungry, feeling out of control, and then beating yourself up about it afterwards, I am telling you, you're not alone. And there's actually a reason for this. So let's go over this. Emotional eating shows up in so many ways for so many people. Here's what can typically happen. You eat when you're stressed. We all have stress. And you do this even if you just had a meal and your body's actually full. You also crave certain foods. No, not because you're hungry or you're hungrier than other people, but because those foods make you feel better. So you try to be good all day long. But what can actually happen is that at nighttime, when we're more tired and less aware of ourselves, we tend to lose control. And this leads to overeating. And what's the worst part of this? The worst part is that you feel guilty afterwards. And then you promise yourself, I'm gonna do better tomorrow. Then you just fall into the same cycle again. Does this sound familiar? Well, this cycle is not just frustrating. This is exhausting. And it makes you feel like you have no control over your own body, like food is in charge, not actually you. And over time, this emotional eating can lead to weight gain that really feels impossible to reverse, higher blood sugar levels and worsening of your diabetes, and a constant feeling of guilt and shame around food. And let me be very clear, this is not about you being too weak. This is how your brain has been wired. So today I want to help you break this vicious cycle. But first, I need you to understand the root cause of what's really going on here. So here's what's really happening. Emotional eating is your brain's way of managing stress. Now, when you eat something comforting, your brain releases a hormone called dopamine. And this is a feel-good chemical. It's important that we have this happening in our life or we wouldn't be incentivized to repeat certain actions that are good for us. And over time, your brain, with all of this dopamine released, learns that food is a relief for your stress. So the next time that you're stressed, bored, or sad, your brain might automatically crave food, especially food that you enjoy. And no, this is not because you're hungry. It's because your brain wants that dopamine hit. It's craving it. So here's the problem. Diets and diet plans really just don't even touch this. They don't fix it at all. Restriction actually probably make your craving stronger. And then willpower doesn't fix this because it's not a conscious decision. Your brain has a drive for getting a dopamine rush. You're not really in control of it the way you think you are. This is a conditioned response. So then what's the solution? Well, the solution is we need to rewire your brain's response to stress. Now, the key to breaking free from emotional eating is giving your brain what it desperately needs. And ideally, it's doing so without relying on food. So this is going to mean two different things. First, we need to understand what your triggers are. What emotions typically drive you to eat, especially when you're stressed? And then two, we need to replace that eating habit with something that actually works to address your stress. And here's the good news. You don't have to completely eliminate comfort foods. You just need a better strategy. So here's how you can start applying this right away. Step number 1 is identifying your personal triggers. So the next time that you feel the urge to eat, I want you to try this. Pause for 10 seconds and ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I feeling something else? Then ask yourself, what happened right before this craving started? If it's true hunger, you should eat. Your body wants you to eat. But if it's a different emotion, boredom, stress, sadness perhaps, now you have awareness of that. And that is powerful. So then step 2, once you've identified this, choose a non-food reward to address whatever emotion you're having. So for example, instead of using food to self-soothe, you can replace it with something that gives your brain the same dopamine hit, but is a non-food thing. So if you're stressed, try engaging in a 2-minute deep breathing exercise. This can be very simple. Closing your eyes, putting on one of the meditation apps, a pre-recorded breathing exercise, or perhaps you just close your eyes and count the number of seconds of your in and count the number of seconds of your out. That's it. If you're lonely, you can try calling or texting a friend, someone who you know can give you support. If you're mentally drained, ideally you could step outside for some fresh air, move away from artificial lights as much as possible, and probably the worst thing is to engage with social media in these moments. Now, if you're bored, ideally, you could do an activity that gives you a reward feeling. So perhaps this is watching a comedy sketch. Even taking a short walk or stretching can help. We want to get our body having enough blood flow to then release all of the hormones, the neurotransmitters that our brain really needs. So engaging your body is super important. So then step 3 here is to plan satisfying meals. Now, a lot of the times, emotional eating is not just about emotions themselves. It can also be a physical thing. So if you are somebody who's skipping meals, or maybe you're just not eating enough, you're not getting enough calories into your body, ultimately your body is going to crave fast energy, aka simple carbs or sugars. So this is what happens a lot of the time. People are not taking care of their meals. They're eating randomly. They're not getting their body the nutrients it needs. And then when they get to a point where their body is so desperate for calories, it sends a signal to our brain that drives us to eat the fastest calories possible, the fastest energy, which is almost always simple sugar. So how do you fix this? Well, ideally, you'd want to eat meals that provide your body with the nutrients that actually supports stable energy levels. So that's protein, fiber, and healthy fats. This is going to help keep your body full and your blood sugar stable. And then don't ever get to the point where you're so hungry. Even if you're somebody who's tracking your calories and you're on a weight loss plan and you're motivated, you don't want to get your body into desperation mode. This can often make cravings much harder to control. So if you are somebody who needs help structuring your meals so that you can have better blood sugar stabilization, better energy levels, avoid some of these really difficult to control cravings, download my free guide below this video, The Perfect Meal Formula, and it is linked for you below. Okay, so what is step number 4 then? Step 4 is to give yourself permission to enjoy food. My goodness, this is something I feel like we do not do enough in our American culture. Give yourself permission. If you completely ban your favorite foods, here's what you risk. You risk craving them even more. So instead, especially if these foods are decadent or unhealthy, or maybe they're expensive, I don't know, maybe your food is bacon, chocolate cake, champagne, and caviar for some of you fancy people out there. Make sure you enjoy them in a way that makes you feel good. So what does this mean? This means instead of saying, no, I can't eat that, try, I can have it, but I'm saving it for a special occasion. Or maybe you say, I can have it, but I'm choosing to have something better for my body right now. This will remove the guilt from the equation, and it'll make it easier for you to eat these things in moderation, so you're not depriving yourself and risking going overboard. So at this point, you have realized emotional eating is not just about willpower. It's about habit. And like any habit, it can be changed. So here's what I want you to do at this point. Try taking a 10-second pause next time you reach for food emotionally. especially if you notice that you have a habit of doing this in a certain circumstance. For some people, it's getting in their car, getting out of their car, getting to work, getting home. Whatever trigger typically drives you to eating something, give yourself 10 seconds. And then test one non-food coping strategy that will work for you. I gave you tons of options above. You can come up with your own, but just try actually applying them and see how you feel. And then let me know in the comments below this video so that I can help support you and all of you can help support each other with these new healthy strategies. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more science-backed, realistic health tips because that is what I am here to bring you. Now, I want you to know, I think each and every one of you deserves a lifestyle that actually works for you. And if you need some help knowing exactly how to structure your meals to help support your blood sugar, to help support your diabetes, to help support your weight loss, and avoid all of these tricky cravings, I made a free PDF guide for you linked below this video. It's called The Perfect Meal Formula. I want you to take it and run with it and make it your own. Jump into that guide below. It's going to help you a lot. And if you're somebody who's like, wow, this is the stuff I've been looking for, I need more healthful tips and strategies, things that are actually going to work, jump into all my other content up here on this channel, especially to help you with your diabetes management. You're going to love those videos, and I'll see you in there.